Hello, this is Dia Damson, and today we are going to do a cool painting of a lantern. We're gonna add some greenery around and a big poinsettia on the base of our painting, and that's gonna be kind of our focal point. And what I'm going to do is sketch it really fast. Also, I will have the traceable for you on my Facebook page, and the link for that will be in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notifications for my future videos. The sketching of the lantern, it's really simple because you have a rectangle on the front, two trapezoids on the side. We have oval for the top part and a tiny oval for the little area where the heat comes out. And you're connecting that tiny floating oval with two lines to the side and a smile right on top of the big oval, and pretty much that's your lantern. We're gonna hide the base of the lantern with a poinsettia and a few branches, leaves, and berries. And our poinsettia is simple shapes. The leaves are just simple leaves coming to all sides, and every leaf in between will have another leaf hiding behind, so that will fill in the space beautifully. I am pushing harder with my pencil here so you guys can see, but I will almost erase this completely, and will give us a very light sketch of what we're doing. So when you print out your traceable, what you can do is trace it with a soft pencil, something that is a B2, 6, 12. The softer the better, but even if you have only the school pencil, which is a HB, trace it, flip it over, and then trace the lines back on your paper, and that will transfer your little illustration to the paper very slightly and gentle. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a very transparent layer of all the colors on the illustration, and we're going to do red poinsettia, red lantern, the greenery is green, and the candle will be yellowish. So we are going to use reds, greens, blues, yellows. So we're gonna do quite a few layers on top of our first layer. So the best thing to do is layer. The more layers you have, the better. So I'm going to do that super transparent layer on the lantern. We also added two stars on the left and the right, where the heat of the lantern, like two little openings, will be coming out. I'm using a round brush number 4, and I will have links to materials if you are interested. They will be down in the description below. I'm gonna do the berries, so pretty much I'm giving the color red to everything that it's red, and then we're gonna start working on our greens. Or let's add the windows, super transparent blue, almost invisible to both sides, and then just one corner on the front. And the reason why I'm not doing the whole window is because we have a candle, we have light that's coming out, and yellow and blue make color green, so we want to stay away from a lot of blue on that area. So I'm gonna do the candle yellowish, and the candle shape is a oval on the top and a rectangle for the middle part. So the green, I'm mixing yellow and green together. I'm creating that greenish, yellowish, greenish color. And our first layer, everything is a little bit closer. So even all those little needles will be much closer, and I'm putting a little bit more pressure with my brush so they're thicker. And that's our first layer. The same for all the leaves that I added. Also a few green leaves that are absolutely the same shape as the red leaves around the poinsettia. So I pick some of that green color from one leaf and I'm making another one with it. I did not want it to make absolutely everything even on both sides. I want it to look more natural. That is not a perfect match. And you see how transparent all the layers are right now. So the first layer was transparent. Second one, I'm going a little bit more color. I'm adding outline and veins to the poinsettia leaves, the flower leaves, but I will take some of that away. So I'm adding it, and then I will soften all these colors and lines. I'm adding a little bit more color to one side. Red and blue creates a purple, and I will add a few little lines from the center out, kind of giving a little bit weight to the center, and that will make it seem like it's a little bit lower than the actual leaves. So we are creating more three-dimensional piece by adding shadow and highlights. So the purple will be our shadow, and I will take some of that color out, and you're gonna see me do that a lot. Even when I'm taking it out, you can still see some of the original lines of the veins, but now they are very vague. So I'm just having fun with that. Now I'm gonna create a little bit darker green. I added a little bit blue in that, and now we're gonna go very thin lines for all the branches of the pine. They are spaced a little bit more than the first layer, and also they're much smaller lines. The front of the pine is a fan, kind of, they're going all around, and the sides are like 45 degrees. Little needles. So you're gonna see how little by little I'm gonna start adding a little more color closer to that flower and pushing the flower forward. So adding ochre to your green, it's going to give you a really beautiful woodsy green. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding another layer, and if you see, I'm adding it more on one side, and then maybe few brush strokes on the rest of the branch. So, and I am going in between the darker lines. So that's our third layer for the branches. The holly leaves, and the berries are a little bit lost in there, so we're gonna push that out too. Just a little outline on one side helps a ton. And adding a shadow around that flower, pushing it forward and pushing things back. Our lantern is ready, so we are going to add a little bit of a darker color. And it's just more color of the same red. So I'm leaving always present some of that original very light layer, so you don't have to cover everything completely. Actually will make it much better. So I'm adding two colors, which is red, same red, and blue to create purple, and I am going to add a little bit of a shadow on one side. So purple is our shadow color, and I will just add a little bit of outline in places where it needs it, and also in places where I think there is more shadow than light. So obviously you see a little bit more of a shadow on the top right side of the lantern than the left. And just adding a little more red again. So this is what I do: add color and take it away and play around. Just cleaning those lines. There's the berries. Adding a U shape underneath those berries. They are very light red, so just adding a little bit to them is fine. So this is green mixed with purple, and I'm going to add that to the middle branch and just a few lines here and there. And you see how those branches now are standing out so much more. So that is layer number 5 or 4. Just layer in, outlining things that are disappearing, things that need to be separated from another. now those pine branches are popping out, and now I'm bringing that purple color to the flower right at the sides. And we have a lot of empty spaces, so I'm gonna add a few leaves here and there. I'm pretty much using the shape of my brush, pushing it down with very transparent green and creating these leaf shapes, tiny leaf shapes. And then I'm going to go with a little bit of darker color and push a little gentler, so we'll give us same shape but smaller. And that's kind of balancing the whole area and not leaving so much negative space, white space. So I'm gonna leave more white just around the flame, and then a circle around that is going to be a yellow line. So I think I added too much yellow to our candle. And our candle is matching too much with the light, so I'm going to change the color of the candle a little bit. And also that candle is going to get an outline too in just certain areas. So we're going to add a little bit of that. The yellow there on the top is wet, so it starts moving fast, and we are going to use our clean wet brush kind of to take a little bit away and push it in the direction we want. Now we're gonna add a little bit of shadow on the top of the candle, maybe a little bit to the sides, so it stands out a little bit more. Going back for more shadows all around. Now on the leaves. Yellow dots for the center. And also with the blue, we're gonna go and put a little bit of shadow in between those yellow dots, so it's going to look more three-dimensional. And now I'm gonna start giving a shadow to the leaves that are hiding behind, but practically what I'm doing is I'm outlining the leaves that are on the front in a way. So you're gonna see how that's getting pushed forward, the leaves on the top, just by adding that shadow next to them. And if you have something a little bit too much somewhere, just with the clean brush you can just scoop it out and remove that color a little bit. So we're gonna do the same shadow effect for the greenery, which will push our flower forward. And you can see that how it's happening right here, and pushing those leaves and branches a little. So we're gonna add very light background with blue, and we're gonna just use our brush pushing all that blue towards the empty spaces in between branches and leaves. And we're not afraid that we might reactivate some of the green, because green and blue are good friends. They're not going to create some weird colors. If we get a little more bluish green in between those branches, it's okay. And we're going to do that for the top. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notifications for my future videos. Let me know what you think or what you want me to paint in a future tutorial, and happy painting! Thanks for watching!